You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got some hot spoilers for you for next year. We're going to dive into what's ahead in 2024 storylines. All this info comes direct from executive producer Ken Corday. I'm going to unpack all this for you. But first, if you haven't, please click subscribe so you don't miss any of it. All right, let's dig into what's ahead. So Ken Corday talked to TV Guide, and he unloaded a bunch of info about 2024 on Days. He said 2024 brings many changes, a pile of romance, and a good mystery. First and foremost, let's talk about shady Sloan Petersen and her stolen baby. The producer said that the baby switch is the huge story going into next year. We're going to watch Sloan continue to unravel from secrets that she's keeping from many people. We've already seen Leo Stark's blackmail is exhausting her and also bankrupting her. And Leo told her he's not going to stop until she gives the baby back to his rightful mother, Nicole Walker. It sounds like Sloan is at a breaking point, and the spoilers say she wants to give Jude back to his biological mother, but is hard to face the reality and the practicality of how to get that baby back to Nicole without ruining her life, right? I mean, So what's a little disturbing is that Ken Corday used the phrase, quote, "when and if Nicole and Eric learn the truth," end quote. I mean, I think we're all hoping it's not an if, but a definite it will happen. I mean, I don't understand how Sloan could give that baby back to Nicole without the truth coming out. You know, that would just be so weird. So I have predicted, and I still feel that it's going to go this way, that it's going to be in two stages. One, Nicole gets the baby back, and then later the reveal that it's not EJ's child, but Eric's biological baby. It was also very interesting because it sounded like Nicole told Marlena if she knew it was Eric's child, she was definitely planning on having it. And she had considered very briefly an abortion for a second when she knew it wasn't his. So, I hope EJ never hears that. We've also got more ahead on the story of John Black's past in 2024. This is the big mystery that Ken Corday mentioned. So in 2023, John Black finally found his biological father, Timothy Robichaux, who was an amnesiac who's lived in VA hospitals since the Korean War. And that was played, of course, by the incredible Dick Van Dyke. And now it seems like John's past is about to be a question mark again. We saw a bit of it already this week when John and Patch kidnapped creepy gold digger Constantine Melionis from the park, and they had Constantine down in that basement, and he could not look away to the blue of John's eyes. He seemed to recognize him. So in 2024, says Ken Corday, they are going to delve back into John Black's history, in particular, his history as the pawn, the assassin trained by the man he thought was his father and who wound up in the possession of Victor Kiriakis back in the day. And it could be that Constantine met John back in his pawn assassin days with Victor, because Victor was around Constantine, even though they wound up hating each other. EP Ken Corday calls Constantine the new villain on Days and says that the guy will continue to face off against John and Steve because they continue to not trust what he's up to where Maggie Kiriakis is concerned. And Corday confirmed the pawn storyline definitely gets a revisit because Constantine suspects that they have a connection from the past. Then, kicking off Monday, January 1st, 2024, we're going to jump right into one of the huge storylines that Corday previewed for the new year. Tate Donovan finds Holly Jonas overdosing while they're out on their first official date. Poor Tate was so excited when Holly came by to apologize and they made plans for their date. But let's be real, Holly is going through so much pain. She lost her baby brother. Her mom has been distant and not present. What we're seeing Holly is self-medicating with booze and now pills, and she got a hold of some tainted pharmaceuticals, reportedly that have fentanyl in it. And Tate finds Holly in distress and overdosing, and he knows he has to help her. The official spoilers for 2024 says he takes action. Maybe he's doing CPR. Hopefully he's calling 911. But what happens to her changes everything for a lot of people in Salem. And Corday says these include Ava Vitali, Stefan DiMera, Brady Black, Theresa Donovan, Nicole Walker, and EJ DiMera. And Ken Corday confirmed Tate Donovan is indeed headed for jail. So after Holly's overdose, EJ blames Tate and targets him, and he's going to use his role as Salem's DA to prosecute Theresa and Brady's only son. Not only does EJ have the teenager arrested, but after Tate makes bail, EJ revokes the bail. He is going overboard in his zeal to make someone pay for what happened to his stepdaughter, Holly. And next week, Nicole is distraught as she sits by Holly's bedside at University Hospital. Holly is on a ventilator. The machine is breathing for her. She's clinging to life. And Nicole is terrified she'll lose Holly right on the heels after she lost her baby with EJ. And her grief is spurring EJ to lash out at everyone. Theresa and Alex Kiriakis' relationship faces a threat after he suggests Tate might really have played a role in Holly's overdose, as EJ is trying to say. As Tate's mother, Theresa is furious that Alex even thinks for a moment that her son was involved in this. Brady Black is sick to death that his beloved son's been arrested, and he's even more distraught when EJ decides to revoke his bail. Plus, remember, Stefan admitted to EJ the other day that he is having to run drugs for Clyde Weston so he won't have Gabby Hernandez killed in prison. He also let him know that Trip Johnson is at risk, and that's how he's controlling Ava as well. For so many good reasons, Ava flipped out on Stefan when he tells her he told EJ. So EJ is going to confront Stefan with accusations after Holly ODs as well. I imagine that Theresa and Brady are going to unite to protect their son and get him a good lawyer. That's my conjecture, not part of the official spoilers. What I'm also worried about is that EJ might send the kid to Statesville prison and try him as an adult, which would be terrible. And that would put him within reach of Clyde, which would be terrible. Plus, I mean, it sounds like Tate is a victim of circumstance, and I really doubt that EJ has got any real evidence to use against him. But Tate is going to make a false confession. I don't know why. Maybe to try and protect Holly's reputation. Maybe he'll say the pills are his. I think this confession might be the only thing EJ's got on the kid. So I also wonder if this is what causes that scene that is from the Day of Days promo where Alex walks into his apartment and he sees Brady and Theresa kissing on his sofa. Because no doubt Brady and Theresa are going to be leaning on each other, and Alex making accusations about their son could put a real damper on their romance. So related to this storyline, Harris grills Ava and Stefan as 2024 begins, simply because Holly was at the bistro before her OD. After the OD, Tripp grills his mother about her possible involvement, so Ava's son may be one of the doctors treating Holly at the hospital. Also, Chanel and Johnny soon hit the sheets and enjoy their renewed romance, but Abe can't do the deed with Paulina and tells her he's sorry, and Xander asks Sarah to move in with him. All right, that's the sneak peek for 2024. There are some very exciting things coming for Days of Our Lives. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Drop your comments and come back soon, because we're here talking days each and every day. And as always, this has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.